Yeah, welcome to complex analysis module part 10. Today we will see some important results related to Cauchy integral formula and theorem. Uh, Before that, I have already discussed in part 7 and 6, 7 and 8, 9, what is complex integration, how to evaluate the line integration, what is Cauchy integral theorem, and what is Cauchy integral formula, and its for derivatives. Today we will see some other results. So first is minimum oblique maximum modulus principle theorem. Minimum oblique maximum modulus theorem. If fz is non-constant and analytic within on a simple closed curve C, within and on, suppose you have any simple closed curve C, fz is analytic inside this function and even on the boundary also, then mod fz, then its magnitude attains its max or min on boundary C. Means you are going to find, going to attain the maximum or minimum value on the boundary only, not inside the points. Suppose minimum value is small m and maximum value is capital M. So this is called minimum oblique maximum modulus principle. Maximum also attain on the boundary and minimum also attain on the boundary. Minimum value I am supposing here is small m and maximum I am supposing capital M. Next is Cauchy integral, Cauchy inequality. So what is Cauchy inequality? Let fz be analytic within and on a circle R. Within and on a circle means inside the circle and on boundary. And circle is mod z minus z naught equal to R, means there is a circle which center is z naught and radius is R. Z naught means x naught comma y naught. Then we have to show that nth derivative of this function at the center is less than equal to m into n factorial over r to the power n, where I am taking maximum value of this analytic function is capital M on boundary C. According to maximum principle, capital M will be attained on the boundary C only. R is the radius of circle. How to prove this? Let's see the proof. We know that nth derivative, if you are interested, along any curve, 1 upon z minus z naught to the power n plus 1 fz dz, then this is equal to 2 pi I by factorial n nth derivative of fz at z equal to z naught. This is Cauchy integral formula for derivatives. Now take the magnitude both the sides. So suppose if you take the magnitude, I am taking right hand side in the left now, factorial n nth derivative of z naught, because we want magnitude only. So less than equal to magnitude of this line integral 1 upon z minus z naught to the power n plus 1 fz dz. So it will be equal to now, it will be equal to now 2 pi I by factorial n, we can take outside because these are positive value. Nth derivative, it will become 1. Why? Because magnitude of I is 1. It can be written as 0 plus 1 into I, then take a complex magnitude property 0 square plus 1 square, so 1. Nth derivative of z naught is equal to closed curve C fz over mod z minus z naught to the power n plus 1 dz mod. We know this property, mod of, if we take in mod inside, we can separate the mod using the complex property of this. Now, we also know that why this is in power, because mod z to the power n equal to mod z to the power n. So mod z minus z naught to the power n equal to mod of z minus z naught to the power n. So we can take power here also. Now, Mod z minus z naught is a circle which radius is r. So put this value here. So it will become now m, this maximum value of fz capital M over r to the power n plus 1 mod of dz along the curve C. Now it is less than equal to, because mod fz is less than equal to. So 2 pi I by 2 pi I is 1 already, factorial n, nth derivative of fz at z naught is less than equal to m over r to the power n plus 1, and this integration mod dz. So for evaluation of it, we will change in the polar coordinate. So z minus z naught is equal to r, or you can write z minus z naught equal to r e to the power I theta. Then your dz will be r I e to the power I theta d theta. I told you this is a polar representation of a complex number. Now it will become 2 pi over factorial n, nth derivative of fz at z naught less than equal to m over r to the power n plus 1. Theta will become 0 to 2 pi because entire circle mod of I r e to the power I theta, and we can take d theta outside because theta is from 0 to 2 pi, so mod is not going to affect that. So less than equal to m over r to the power n plus 1. I magnitude is 1, r we can take outside. Mod of e to the power I theta is also 1 because this is equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. So its magnitude is 1 only. So it will become 0 to 2 pi d theta. Why mod d theta is become d theta? Because theta is positive. So mod will become positive value. Now if we evaluate it, it can be written as 2 pi I by factorial n mod of fz at nth derivative at z naught less than equal to m over r to the power n plus 1 into r into 2 pi. 2 pi is cancelled out, 1 r is also cancelled out. Take factorial n in the right hand side. So mod of nth derivative of z at z naught less than equal to m into factorial n over r to the power n. So this is the proof. This is called Cauchy inequality, and this is very useful actually. This is very useful result. I will use this result in next theorem. That theorem is called Liouville theorem. What is Liouville theorem? It's a statement is important, but I'm going to prove here also for your better understanding. If any function is an entire function, if an entire function means analytic everywhere in a given domain. A function fz is called entire function if it is analytic everywhere. Remember my point? If a function, it can be asked in objective question, which is entire function, a function which is analytic everywhere, and fz is bounded for all values of z, and bounded is means it has maximum or minimum value in the finite complex plane, means infinity are removed from the plane, then fz must be constant. Then fz must be constant. So very simple proof. You can directly take it as I told you. This is a nth derivative at any point. I am taking here at zeta is less than equal to m into factorial n over r to the power n. Here r is the radius and zeta is any point, arbitrary circle of the arbitrary center of the circle. This is your circle. Now for n equal to 1, it can be written as f dash xi is equal to m over r to the power 1. Now xi is the center, it is arbitrary point, center can be anywhere, and we are taking n equal to n1 here. Now for large r means r tending to infinity, so large it will become less than equal to limit r tending to infinity m over r, it will become 0. Mod of f dash xi is 0, and if it's less than equal to 0, but modulus is always positive. Modulus is always positive, so negative is not possible. So it will be equal to f dash xi is only possibility is its derivative is 0, because mod cannot be negative. So your only solution is it is equal to 0. If the derivative is 0, then function must be constant. If the derivative is 0, then function must be constant. So for every xi, every z, function is constant for every z. This is arbitrary and this is for every z. or you can use Z also, no problem. Then Z will become your arbitrary center, and W you can take, or Z1 you can take the parameter. A function is of the Taylor series, most important. Taylor series and Lorentz series are very important from exam point of view, and it are very easy actually, so you can better understand here. A function f z that is analytic inside a circle mod z minus z not equal to r may be represented as a convergent power series inside the circle. So important point is we are dealing inside the circle only, and it can be converted, it can be represented at convergent power series, means its sum is finite. Its sum is finite and it's a converging power series. So what is convergence? I have already discussed in unit 2. On more series convergence, you can see we have discussed so many tests, ratio test, p test in the series. You can read that. So power series means suppose you have any object, it can be written as a naught plus a1 z minus z naught plus a2 z minus z naught square plus so on. And we are expanding here power series about z equal to z naught. And we are dealing only inside the circle, which center is z naught and radius is r. I'm not going on the boundary, I'm only inside the circle. So fz can be written as sigma n equal to 0 to infinity an z minus z naught to the power n. An z minus z naught to the power n. What is an here? How to find an? So Taylor told we can find an by this formula. An is given as nth derivative of f z at z naught over factorial n, and n start from 1 to 3 and so on. What about a0? Because we want, it will give you the value of a1, a2 and so on, but we want a0 also. For a0, he told a0 is equal to the value of function at the given point about which we are going to find the series expansion. Some important points are there. This series is always unique. This is a very important point. The Taylor series, if exists for any function about any point, then it is always unique. We have some more remarks. If the fz is not analytic at a point z equal to z naught, it cannot be extended, it cannot be expanded in Taylor series expansion. It cannot be extended or expanded. Since Taylor series of any function is unique, so we can use for obtaining this expression directly, whatever it is possible. It is unique, so we can apply any of the method, or derivative method, or even binomial we can apply if the function is given in the polynomial form. So what is the meaning directly and by the method? I will discuss both the method here, and I will tell you the second method. Means for polynomial case, it is very easy actually. Find Taylor series expansion of fz equal to 1 upon z about z equal to 2. Important point is you are going to expand fz about z equal to 2. So it is not defined at z equal to 0, but we are expanding about z equal to 2. So z equal to 2 means 2 will become the center of the circle. Z equal to 2. Z equal to 2 means x plus I y equal to 2. So 2 plus I 0. So x equal to 2, y equal to 0. So this is the center. And we can take any radius. The radius is not given, so we can take any radius. And in excluding, we cannot take z equal to 0 point here. Because at 0 function is creating problem, or it has singularity. I will tell you what is singularity after lectures. So we can take any radius. Means circle is actually mod z minus z naught equal to r, and r is 0 less than r less than 2. R cannot be equal to 2, because if it is r2, then it at 2, if at boundary the function is creating problem. So at boundary we cannot expand it. So boundary we cannot expand it. Then let's see how we will expand it. So function is defined everywhere except z equal to 0. Now, so example of our case, and important point, you can take maximum radius. Okay, take a maximum radius. You can take maximum radius 2. If it is not given, take maximum radius. How to define this radius? How to find this radius? The point distance of center to the point which is creating problem or which has singularity. I'm writing word which is creating problem. Which point is creating problem? Z equal to 0. So 0 and 2 is distance is to radius will be here 2. Radius will be 2 here. But at boundary we are not expanding. We are only expanding inside this. That's why we can use r equal to 2 here. So radius will be 2. Forget about this. This is an important one here. So radius is 2 in this case. Now, how to define? So fz can be written as a naught plus a1 z minus z naught plus a2 z minus z naught whole square and so on. Or you can write a naught plus a1 z minus 2 because you are expanding about z equal to 2. So z naught is 2 in your case. Now we need the value of a naught, a1 and a2 and so on. You have a f z equal to 1 over z. So what will be the f z naught? Means f at 2, it will be 1 by 2 only. What will be the f dash z? It will be minus 1 by z square. What will be f double dash z? It will be 2 over z cube. What will be f triple dash z? It will be minus 3 over z to the power 4. Can you tell me what will be the nth derivative of z? It will be your third time, second time. It will be actually 3 factorial. 3 into 2. 3 into 2 into 1. It's a 2 into 1, so 2 factorial. So n factorial over z to the power n plus 1. You can see that 3 factorial, it will become third derivative. Now you have one more power, so n plus 1. And even time positive, odd time negative. So minus 1 to the power n, you have to multiply. So this is the nth derivative of fz. Now you want fz. Actually, your an is nothing else. It is an is nothing else nth derivative at z naught over factorial n. So you can find here a1, a2 very easily, and you can directly substitute the value also. So what will be the an? An will be nth derivative at 2 over factorial n. So it will be nth derivative. What is nth derivative? Nth derivative of z is minus 1 to the power n factorial over z to the power n plus 1. So it will become minus 1 to the power n factorial n over 2 to the power n plus 1 divided by factorial n. So this is cancelled out. So an is minus 1 to the power n over 2 to the power n plus 1. Now put the value. Expansion is given as sigma n equal to 0 to infinity a n z minus z naught to the power n. A n z minus z naught to the power n. Only you can write a naught plus sigma n equal to 1 to infinity a n z minus z naught to the power n. It's depend you how you want to write. If you want, you can find a1, a2 and so on from here only, or you can directly put the value of an here, an here, and a naught, you know, 1 by 2. So this is the way to find the Taylor series. Some methods are there. You can directly solve by binomial expansion. So we know that the binomial expansion of 1 plus x to the power n is 1 plus nx plus n minus 1 upon factorial to x square and so on. 1 minus x to the power n, then 1 minus nx plus n minus 1 by factorial to x square. I discussed this in differential unit. If n is negative, then n add obviously. If n is negative, then n add all obviously. Here plus plus, so all term are positive, plus minus, so alternate, plus minus alternate, minus minus plus, so every term is positive. Some tricks are there. 1 minus x to the power minus 1 is 1 plus x square and so on. 1 plus x to the power minus 1 is 1 minus x plus x square minus x cube and so on. Now I'm going to solve this problem for you. And for n equal to 2, 1 minus x to the power minus 2 is 1 plus 2x plus 3x square plus so on. You can obtain this by the binomial expansion. Second method, if you want fz1 upon z about z equal to 2 and you don't know anything, but due to polynomial function z denominator, it is polynomial, you can directly solve by the binomial. So if you want any point about any point z equal to 2, so make that factor. So we have to add 2 and subtract 2. Always use this. It will become z minus 2 factor always if you are going to find about z equal to 2. Now make this constant term as a 1. So take 2 common. So it will become 1 plus z minus 2 by 2. Now it can be written as 1 plus z minus 2 by 2 to the power minus 1. Call it as capital X. So it will become 1 by 2, 1 plus x to the power minus 1. This expansion I have already told you. This is equal to 1 minus x plus x square minus x cube plus so on. Put the value of z here. Or you can write it as also sigma n equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n x to the power n. A similar thing is there. Minus 1 to the power n x to the power n. If you expand n equal to 0 infinity, you will get the same answer. Put the value here. Sigma n equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n. X is actually z minus 2 to the power n by z minus 2 to the power n. So this is your expansion. If you expand it from n equal to 0 onwards, you will get the similar expansion which I obtained from the previous method. So this is your Taylor series. In the next lecture, we will see Lorentz series, and these topics are very useful. And you are suggested that revise these topics carefully. Okay, thank you.